Hello, I'm Phil Svitek, 360 Creative Coach, and this episode is meant for editors of video out there. And the lesson is that you should split your project into multiple parts, or as I like to call them, reels. Now, before I fully dive into why and how, I would like to take the opportunity to invite you to subscribe if you haven't already. That way you get all the various lessons and episodes that I put out right when I put them out. Thank you if you just did, and thank you if you already were. It truly does mean a lot to me, and I hope it does to you. So let's talk about this. The reason I call them reels, that you should split your project into reels, is because back in the film days, that's what it quite literally was, film reels, and the whole movie didn't fit on a single reel. It had to be broken up, right? So we had multiple reels. And, that's why I carry that term over. Now, the reason I say this is because when you're working on a feature film, there's a lot of components to it, no matter how seemingly simple your movie is, especially today when you have such large footage in terms of 4K and so forth. And ultimately, your project, right? The project file, whether Premiere, Avid, Final Cut, DaVinci Resolve, the file size is not predicated on the amount of footage you have, right? That's not the thing. What makes it bigger is, the amount of stuff in the bins, the amount of edits, just the amount of items, right? And so ultimately, you don't want to balloon your project file to be that big. It starts to slow it down. And so it becomes a lot easier when you break it up into chunks, right? AKA reels. And for me, the projects that I've worked on, I like to break it up into 20-minute segments. So, one reel equals 20 pages of a script. That's how I base it off in terms of how it is. And that allows me, I know that way what scenes are exactly in which reel. I edit those, reels. I work for me sequentially. And then when it's time, I export each one or bring it all into a master project file and, go from there. But it also just kind of helps you mentally wrap your mind around some of the stuff instead of, that's another big reason why I'm an advocate of this, is instead of being overwhelmed by so many scene numbers in various bins and so forth, it's a lot easier to just like, hey, here's smaller chunks. I'm going to work on these. And it's mentally a lot easier to manage when you do that. And I've seen other people adopt this principle and it's worked out well for them. But ultimately, the real reason is that it makes it easier to work with your project files because, the bigger your project file size, the slower things become, right? So anyway, that's my advice to you. I hope you use it. Hope it helps. As always, if you have any thoughts, questions of your own, please comment down below or hit me up on social media at Phil Svitek. Likewise, I just want to plug my Patreon page, patreon.com/Phil Svitek. That's a way for us to interact more directly. And also, if you're curious about the things that I make, the movies, the books, and so forth, you can check those out. They are in the description box. Thank you if you do. It would mean a lot to me. Anyway, I hope to see you next time.